Let me start with Nietzsche. He said, without music, life would be a mistake. What do you think he means by that? Let's talk some philosophy. Let's try to analyze Friedrich Nietzsche from a century ago.
It seems like music has the ability to bring us so much depth in our soul that's hard to access any other way. And without it, there would be a loss beyond the pleasure of it. Feels like it's a window into something else.
Something that no other medium can express quite the same way.
I would say not as automatically. Something about music can do it automatically. Maybe poetry or maybe certain abstract forms can get us there. But there's something about music that really can get us there quickly.
But it's also the time, the place, the history. There's something about, like, a lot of my family's still in Philly. There's something about driving through Jersey and listening to Bruce Springsteen. And then I'll get like emotional. Like listening to like I'm on Fire. That like one of my favorite Bruce Springsteen songs. There's a haunting kind of strumming to it. It's not a strumming. It's actually picked. It has a country feel to it, almost like a Johnny Cash feel actually. And I don't know, makes me feel, so for people who don't know, I'm on Fire. That song is, I guess, a love song to a woman that you can't have because she's married or she's with somebody else, which I guess is quite a lot of love songs. But there's something about the haunting nature of the guitar, and then it has to be driving through Jersey. And I feel like everyone has fallen in love with a Jersey girl at one point in their life. I don't know if that's true for everybody, but I feel like that. I haven't either, but I just feel like that. I feel there's something about Bruce Springsteen. It's like, yeah, I've been there. And that just takes you to a place of emotion that you just that captures love, that captures longing, that captures the heartbreak of just the way time flows in life, and the fact that it's finite, and just all of that in a single simple song. Like, what else can capture that?
Yeah, I don't know. But it's true that there's a connection both between time and place and music. And certain music growing up on the East Coast didn't really resonate with me until I spent time on the West Coast. Eagles being an example. When I lived in New York, the Eagles didn't really speak to me. ZZ Top didn't really speak to me. And then when I started spending time in California and driving through Laurel Canyon, all of a sudden the music of the Eagles felt appropriate somehow, and I started listening to it more.
Got it. So not until you went out west can you understand the sounds of the West. So it's really like New York has a sound. What other places have a sound in the United States?
I think every place does. And that said, sometimes we can get an experience through music of a place. Like we can resonate with the music and not understand why. And then maybe when we go to the place where it was created, it's almost like we have a knowingness of that place. It's not a strange place anymore.
Yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan with blues and Texas blues.
Yeah.
You can just listen to Texas Flood and just, again, there's this like a woman you're missing, a broken heart, and somehow that connects you to the place. The Eagles, what song with the Eagles connects with you? Are we talking about like Take It Easy, or are we talking more like Hotel California?
I'm thinking Take It Easy, but both are great.
Yeah. There's certain songs when I started learning guitar when I was young that's like, I would like to be the kind of person that not only knows how to play this song, but understands this song, and like have that song be something I played 20 years ago. And I've lived with that song for a while. Like Hotel California is an example. Obviously there's the solo, but there's also the soulfulness of the lyrics, which I still don't understand. And it could be about anything. And as you get older, I feel like the meaning of the song could be anything.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's the beauty of them. I think when the person wrote them, they may have had one interpretation. but it's not contingent on us getting that interpretation to like it or resonate with it or feel it. In some ways, the best art is open enough where the artist gets to have their experience when they make it, and then the audience gets to have their experience when they listen, and they don't have to be the same.
And then it connects thousands or millions of people together. There's a togetherness of music when you share that music, when you're listening to stuff together, like in a car. First of all, the car is a sacred place. So I work in part on autonomous vehicles. And you start to think, well, what are the things you lose when the car stops being the central part of American life? The car ownership. It just feels like the car, when you're alone, it's like a therapist thing session, because you get angry at other humans. You get and then you get to like sit in your own anger and emotion. You get to listen to the song on a long road trip and remember, like, run through your memories, the heartbreak, I don't know, the one that got away, but also like the beautiful moments, all of it. Yeah. And all of that in the car.
Yeah, driving also serves another purpose in it's one of the things that we can do that we have to pay attention enough not to crash, but typically can essentially run on autopilot enough where we could be thinking about something else or concentrating on something else. And the difference between concentrating on something or trying to solve a problem, when you're solely trying to solve a problem versus when you have some little task that's keeping you occupied, I find if I have something slight to take care of, it frees a more creative side of my mind to better solve problems.
You know, I'm kind of jealous of people that found that in painting, for example. They'll be drawing or painting and listening to, so that's the small task you do. You're coloring in the lines. It's like this gentle, peaceful, slow process that requires just a small fraction of your mind. And then you can listen. Some people listen to podcasts that way. Some people listen to music that way.
Mm.
Yeah.
How do you do it? How do you free your mind?
Running is one of them. There's a process. So most freeing of the mind for me has to go through a process of a bit of pain for a bit. So doing something difficult, it's just like a airplane taking off or something. So I have to, like, for example, running. The first few miles would just be just first of all, the physical aspect, which is like, you're so fat, you're out of shape, this is getting old, this, that. Okay, that slowly dissipates. And then the demons come in who are like, you should be getting this and that and this done. You haven't gotten it done. You're like breaking promises, all those kinds of voices coming in. And after that, maybe mile 4, it's like, fuck it. You just run with the wind at a very slow pace, but with the wind. And then you could think. So it's the footsteps, the physical activity, but then you could deeply think about stuff, ideas, sort of design, whether it's programming design stuff or like high level life decisions, all those kinds of things. I would say running. I used to build bridges from toothpicks. I used to be a thing. It's an engineering. I guess some people like glue together airplanes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But the bridges, it's such deeply honest work, because at the end of it, you're going to have to test that bridge and you're going to see how good your work was. The little details, but also the big picture.
Do you use glue or no?
Yeah, use glue. So it's not pure physics. It's materials engineering too. Because the way you want to do it is you actually split the wood as thin as possible and then glue it back together, because the glue is really strong, except for the arches and things like that. So you're building arch bridges, which is a whole nother skill, because you have to bend the wood. And it's so cool because the thing can hold thousands of times its weight. And then you get to watch it explode at a certain point from the pressure. And when you do a really good job, it doesn't explode in a kind of some weak point that you didn't anticipate. It just kind of starts cracking. Everything cracks, everything explodes. It's just pieces fly everywhere, and it's literally hundreds of hours of work just explode in front of you. And that's a metaphor for life, maybe. And it's all for nothing, except for the journey that you took to get there. And no one understands.